Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're considering buying a home or maybe pricing out to see if you want to sell a home, you will find great value in this video because it reveals the most recent National Association of Realtors report that actually discloses how housing prices are going, like in which direction, and market is definitely slowing down. And that's great news for the buyers. And in the second part of the video, I also will show you statistics that literally is released today for July for Utah. And we'll cover Salt Lake City County, we'll cover Utah County, and we'll also cover Washington County, St. George, Utah. So buckle up, let's go. And before we get started, I'm Anya Bartholomew, local Utah real estate agent, and I also happen to be the #1 best-selling author of the book, The Future of Real Estate. What it means to you that if you're looking to buy, sell, or relocate, you're in the right place. So connect with me, get in touch with me, send me a text, call me, and I'm here for you 24/7. And most importantly, in this channel, I post regularly updates, real estate updates, so that you can stay informed. Why? Because it's time we stop, feeling like the market is happening to us, but rather we're armed with information so we can make the most informed, profitable buying, selling, and relocating decision. And if that is of interest to you, you're in the right place. Welcome aboard, buckle up, let's go. We have a lot to cover. Number one, the most exciting news about the report is finally, the housing market prices in the housing market is actually decreasing. Whoosh, it's about time. So you probably remember in June, the medium average price was $363,000. And in July, even though we still have 17% increase year over year compared to 2020. However, compared to June, we're 4,000 down, we're at 359.9. Well, it might not seem like a huge dip, but there is probably the beginning of the trend. At least we're seeing the normalness of the market, right? Because we know that during spring, the prices are going up, but then when the kids are going to school, historically, traditionally, we always see that the market is cooling off. This has been happening in 2019, not in 2020, but that was an unusual year. So the market is becoming a little bit more normal. That's great news. And a quick side note, the economist from National Association of Realtors said that we should not be expecting a dramatic drop in prices, right? And that's probably predictable. However, he said there is a chance that the prices might be leveling off. Very politically correct statement. And on the same note, we should be able to make our own judgment calls on those prices and where the market is going. Because after all, even 30 days ago in June, the same economist said that we will not be seeing any price decreases anytime soon. And here we go, 30 days later. So we just accounted for one reason of why the prices dropped, and that's seasonality, very obvious. And another one is quite interesting. Actually, the changes in the prices in the luxury market group, so specifically in the price range of $750,000 to $1 million, if we saw in June those prices in $700,000 to $1 million increase by 119%, and then $1 million and plus to actually 146%. So in July, there was quite a significant drop. So in the 700, it went up by 53%, but in the million plus, that decreased only 56%. So in both cases, the price decreases in the luxury market group is actually quite significant, from 56 to 119, from 53 to 146. So that's a lot of change. And another interesting number that you might consider, if you're in this category, first of all, first-time home buyer share decreased from 34% to 30%, June to July respectively. And also cash buyers actually increased just by 1% from 14 to 15%. And altogether, cash buyers, which is actually not institutional investors, we were talking about second home buyers and non-owner occupied buyers, that share is about 23% of all the homes sold in July. And just to quickly update you on the foreclosure status. So those sales, foreclosures and short sales, they were under 1%. And since you understand probably most likely how lengthy foreclosures and short sales process could be in this very, very volatile, who knows where going market, right? So you'll understand that probably very, very likely, very, very, very likely that we're not going to see any foreclosures flooding the market anytime soon. And you can definitely relate back to my other videos where I described it and explained it a little bit more in depth. And before we get into July statistics, like seriously, within the last 24 hours released statistics for Utah, housing prices, inventories, and all of that, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. It takes me a lot of time to prepare information to make sure, again, I'm fulfilling my mission to keep my listeners informed so we all can make the most profitable and empowering decision instead of feeling like the market is happening to us. With Utah market, let's start with Salt Lake County. So here's the good news. The average sold price went down from $556,000 to $551,000. Again, it's just $5,000 down, but everything helps, everything counts. And again, we're expecting the trend, especially, given the seasonality. Now, in terms of asking price over the sold price, right? Like how much more the buyers are paying in July versus June. In June, the overprice was 104%, and in July, 103%. Another great news. And days on the market, again, it's just 1 day difference from 13 days on the market, right? Pretty crazy, to 14, but also everything helps. And month's supply of the inventory, guys, we are almost double. If in January we were 0.6 months supply of inventory for Salt Lake County, now we're at 1.1. That is great news. We have more choices, and therefore we could see a little bit of the stabilizing of the market. Utah County. Normally, Utah County reflects and mirrors Salt Lake County. They're so close together, very, very closely. And that's the case here as well in July. So the average sold price was $524 in June and $1,000, obviously, dollars. And in July, it's $518,000, slowly decreasing. Wonderful. The days on the market actually didn't quite pang out, from 15, we went to 14. However, the inventory supply also slightly, but increased. 1.2, a little bit over than Salt Lake County. However, the same thing in January, the housing supply inventory was 0.6, and now we're 1.2. That is great news for the buyers. And of course, that will help enormously in terms of stabilizing the market. Now, Washington County, St. George. Well, this market, as we know, it could be a wild card. However, check this out. It went from $554,000 to $582,000, right? No decrease. However, we also know not to rely on just 1 month statistics, because we could have a huge luxury estate sold and it will bump the prices higher. So I did a little peek preview of the August prices, the weighted average so far, because we are really at the end of the market. And the price actually for August decreased quite a bit. So that's why it's really important to understand Salt Lake County trend, the big macro trend, the entire U.S. Housing market, where's the big, monster is going. But also look at the average size, like the state statistics. And now we'll look at the local market. And that's easy to see that even though the price in July jumped, right? We don't know what this jump is accounting for. We might find out a couple of months later when we have all the data available. However, looking just previewing August, it gives us a good idea that St. George might indeed be following the trend. And to back me up with a little bit more data, so days on the market also increased for St. George from 15 days to 16 days. And overage, right? So what the buyers are paying over the asking price also went down from 102% to 101. And the same thing with the inventory. We see the sellers being smart and playing this card right. They're putting their inventory in the market. Good for all of us. So the inventory also increased from 1.1, from just 1 month to 1.2. That is a trend. It's consistent. So we are stabilizing the market. We are beginning to experience a more normal market. Whew. And to share a little bit more good news, I want to share a really exciting data about housing inventory. So over the last 5 months, it's been consistently increasing. And indeed, it went up from 1.03 million to 1.3 million. That is almost 30% increase of inventory. That is the best news that we could actually hope for, because that is a huge driving factor in this housing market, stabilization, if you will. And to put it a little bit in a very psychology perspective, I want to share that one of my colleagues recently shared, he said, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start seeing FOMO, fear of missing out, from the sellers who will start putting more and more inventory on the market. And that wouldn't be too bad, would it? And on that note of hope that our market's going to get kind of like under control, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions where you think the market is going, I would love to know what you think, and I would love to make a video about that. And let me know if there's anything I can do in terms of real estate. My information is below. Thank you for watching.